Hello, we're a small group of students from Eastern Kentucky University, and we created a blog to spread awareness about bibliotherapy. This blog mainly focuses on bibliotherapy as a treatment for bullied students in the classroom. However, this is not the only use for bibliotherapy. For instance, my paper focused on the use of bibliotherapy with adults, but for all intents and purposes, we're going to talk about classroom use today. Here's Cheyenne with this for students.
This is our For Students page. On this page, we define what bibliotherapy is and how it can help you and the ones you love. We have also highlighted some of our main points within our argument. Also, on this page, it discusses the other routes you can take if bibliotherapy isn't an option.
Hi, my name's Morgan, and I'm going to talk about the For Teachers page. I thought it was fitting to talk about this page because my research paper for our class was about depression in adolescents and implementing bibliotherapy in the classroom. So first of all, this page talks about bibliotherapy in the classroom, giving a more intricate definition for bibliotherapy for teachers as compared to the For Students page. And it talks about how the second type of bibliotherapy, developmental bibliotherapy, should be used in the classroom because it doesn't take professional, like a PhD like it would for clinical bibliotherapy. These It can be implemented through poetry, novels, fairy tales, short stories, and step-by-step instruction manuals, which are often used in the classroom anyway. So it would be pretty easy for teachers to implement bibliotherapy through these methods. Next, we talk about the reasons to implement bibliotherapy in the classroom, which we'll talk a little bit more about in the disorders and problems page. But bibliotherapy can help with symptoms of psychiatric disorders, and also something I wasn't legally allowed to put on this site was a source that can help with For Teachers specifically, if you want to check it out. It's called Bibliotherapy, Helping Children Cope with Life's Challenges by Rosalsky, Stewart, and Miller. And it basically outlines the process for teachers to pick materials for their students to use as bibliotherapy in their classes. And next, Casey's going to talk about disorders and problems.
All right, so in my research for this class, I researched the effects that bullying can have on a person's psychologically and some of the disorders that can happen, and then also some of the bullying that can happen because of psychological disorders. And some of the disorders that I looked into were ADHD and PTSD and some eating disorders and stuff like that. And specifically for like PTSD, bullying can cause that. And so through this site, we hope to provide some resources that you can look into to learn more about that and how you can prevent it or help to cope with it. And then for some disorders like ADHD, eating disorders, bullying can also occur because of those. So we've provided some resources that you can look into for more information about those and ways to cope with that kind of stuff as well. And then another thing that we've included is catharsis, and this is the stage in bibliotherapy where emotional release takes place. And so just through this site, we have resources where you can learn more about how bibliotherapy can help with that stage in recovery and coping. And then we've also provided a resources page, which is where some of the stuff is that I've been talking about and some of the other people have been talking about. And you can look into these resources to learn more about bibliotherapy and its uses in the classroom and for different problems that students can encounter in their lives and how they can cope with that. And then we also have a references page as well.
So to wrap up, I just wanted to talk a little bit about our class and why we decided to make this blog. So like Kim said in the introduction, classroom implementation is not the only way for bibliotherapy to be used. We've learned in class that bibliotherapy can be used in a professional setting or even just self-implemented. And if nothing else from this blog, what we wanted our viewers to get is that it's important to think about new ways to cope with such big issues like psychological disorders and bullying. And, through these pages, it gives very specific information. But the main idea of this is just like a call to action for you all to try to get out there and talk a little bit about bibliotherapy and other coping mechanisms that aren't quite as conventional as regular therapy or medication, because there are always different ways to deal with various problems. And we just wanted to say thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment on preferably the homepage, and I'll be checking in on this periodically. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or resources that you think would be interesting to us, don't be afraid to comment, and thank you so much for watching.